Tax policy is inherently a political process in each of the respective countries. So as of right now, there's no real meeting in the middle. We find that domestic firms end up avoiding about 2% less tax than multinational firms. In other words, the tax enforcement is less effective on multinationals than it is on domestic firms. Is there a different effectiveness of tax enforcement around the world when it comes to companies that operate just domestically within that country versus companies that have operations all around the world? We decided to look into this because there's been such a focus recently on the tax avoidance activities, particularly of really large multinational firms. When the US increases its tax enforcement, that just means that some of our multinationals are going to go increase their tax avoidance in other jurisdictions to offset the effects of maybe those higher taxes that they might have to pay in the US. So if they don't like the policies that you're putting in place in this country, they can pick up their profits, their people, their intellectual property, whatever they want, they can pick it up and move it to a lower tax country to help offset that effect. And that kind of begs the need for increased harmonization. The concept of tax harmonization is that these countries will come together and align their tax policies in a way that it makes it much more difficult for any taxpayer to find those gaps between differences in policies across countries and exploit them. The policy implications of the global minimum tax include that it's very complex to try to figure out exactly how to impose it, which is also a very difficult political process. We're all in this together, right? There's one pie, and we need to figure out a way of splitting up the pie. And right now, all these countries are competing over this shrinking pie because the companies are getting really good at making sure that the amount of taxes they pay is getting smaller and smaller. The only way to increase the pie again is to try to get countries to agree that companies are going to have to pay as a minimum amount in every country. So who gets hurt by multinational corporations avoiding tax? I think it's me and you. And I think there's a lot of demand from the public for better understanding how much companies, for example, are paying in tax. And so that has led to a lot more demand for transparency and disclosures on the part of companies of, where are they paying taxes, how much are they paying, and are they going where we want them to go?